We are back. What could potentially be the final game of play-ins as BDS find themselves 0-2 down. PSG dominant is the only word I find apt for that particular performance.
I have a lot, but I probably shouldn't say all of them.
You know what? We're going to need some of those during this game potentially. So you keep them into your hat for the moment. But, I mean, BDS, they've chosen blue side again. They are going to have that first pick rotation, but they need to throw anything, everything over there. It's a Hail Mary. It's the fourth quarter. You're down. You need to have a massive play.
I appreciate the Americanisms.
I'm a massive NFL fan. So
there we go.
Unfortunately, New York Jets. So,
you got to speak to me. Oof.
Yeah,
Roughy.
big oof on that particular one there. But yeah, it's rough.
I agree. I mean, it's potentially the last game you're going to play this year if you're not able to win this one. So you don't want to go just troll and pick random stuff, but you do want to go out on a good showing, figure out which champions are going to best do that. And I got to say, here's my attempts at the caster curse. No one ever comes back from that. You know, it's a 3-0.
You're not Cloud9. You can't do this.
I was the team that happened against. I was
really?
I was coaching Gross back then when LMQ reverse swept us. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I have that power, maybe. No one ever comes back. Congrats on making Worlds to PSG. No one comes back. There you go. It starts with success for PSG.
Yeah,
and
there's
Maple.
the LEC one there.
What else
we got
you got?
any more? We got any more? I can't think of. I haven't cast a Penta yet today. You know, there's always something there that might go against them. To be honest,
I don't know that one's
that's
good.
a little bit of a neutral one, to be honest with you. But if there's ever a time to come back into a series and get a Penta, it's right now. But BDS going to continue banning out things like the Rumble. Make sure they are not getting the ultimate kind of AP in that top side. And I mean, yeah, just keep banning away towards that top end. Honestly, I actually have no problem with this whatsoever. I think if they just focus on Adam and try and get him something solid, I think they should be good.
Yeah, maybe not the first pick Renekton now that you see the Jax counter ready to go, unless you're going to ban Jax as well. But who knows? The Orianna ban, no surprise. PSG locking in on BDS's most played. And I saw some people being like, why go back to blue side? Because you probably have other drafts other than that more early game oriented option. I would not surprised to see a return more to a game one style of scaling and hope that maybe you can win some more of those fights that were mechanical outplays rather than just getting smashed in the early game.
Okay, for me, the biggest change right now is that it was the Kalista changed up ban for the Maokai. I feel like you have to take the Maokai here. If you leave that open for PSG, they go Maokai Jace, even if you do pick up a Darius or something like that. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, I just don't know what BDS's answer is to some of these situations. I understand the Kalista ban from the perspective of like, hey, they actually got a first blood on us, and if Labrov did not hand one back, maybe that game goes different. That does give the Maokai over. And that is one of Sheo's preferred champions. So I kind of liked the trick that they set up before, but maybe they're worried then he just is going to first pick the Sejuani this time, and he ends up with one of his tanky junglers. So letting him get the Maokai and figuring out what they want to answer with instead.
Wait to see what PSG have the answer for now, because again, they've had all the answers so far. If I was an examiner, I think someone was cheating because they have just come in way too prepared. But Azhi definitely thinking like getting him something involved in that top side, you know, again, having something he can carry on, like we've seen it twice now before, the Ken and then the Jax, is going to have a Jarvan in the jungle and a Rell. Like, again, already PSG saying, look, we've got incredible frontline engaged to start off this match.
I really like this idea. PSG played that last game saying, hey, we're feeling ourselves. We want tools in the early game to make plays, and Jarvan is basically the best at that. From level 2 onwards, you have the ability to go flying in and try and mess somebody up.
Right now, we're just going to... This is where the big kind of moves come in, if you will, for BDS. They need to figure out where exactly they're going to take these particular picks. Again, ooh, finally! Hey, finally we see Crownie now. Can he play it? That's the question on everyone's mind.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it didn't feel like something that they're... Like, I'm obviously reading far too into players' faces and what they're saying, but it doesn't seem like something they're very happy about because they don't want it to be picked away and then some more bans thrown at Ezreal, these other things that would happen in Phase 2 if you don't take it here. But at the same time, they don't seem like they really want to be playing with it, and they're not sure what else to combo together here. Coming down to the wire, Alistar locked in, both solo lanes left available here.
So they got their bot lane and the jungle. See if the PSG want to answer in kind, get something for Wako, who's had just honestly an exceptional time on the Kai'Sa. We'll see him on something different this particular series. So what is his answer? Where does he want to try and take this? Or do they just want to left it open and say, look, there's no real massive major picks that we want. We're going to go for something maybe a little bit more kind of towards the solo laners, but it looks like for the moment, they're happy to go with another 80 card themselves, the Caitlyn. Wow, okay, so they're going for pure lane dominance and make sure this Kai'Sa can't even get to the point of assassinating.
Correct me if I'm wrong, first Caitlyn of Worlds.
I believe so.
I believe this is the first Caitlyn of Worlds. She's in an interesting spot right now where people have strong opinions on how much damage she can deal. And
depends on the builds.
Yeah, depending on the build. There's some more annoying ones, depending on how much you like getting headshot crit for 2,000 damage or ulted.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see where they end up going here. But it is very interesting to see Wako force off the Kai'Sa, and instead of going for more playmaking, which is where I thought he was going to go. When I think of him as an aggressive, team fight, more focused AD carry who wants to go for those game 1 plays where he's flashing in and making a name for himself. Here he's saying, no, lane dominance, give me some resources, set me up some vision, I'm going to smash this guy in lane.
Yeah, and for the moment now, this Caitlyn is going to have all eyes on them. Again, if the range you get from the Caitlyn, just having that control as well, and the fact that you combo it up with the Rell, you come in with the crash down, you drop down a Yordle snap trap, and all of a sudden you're CC'd for a good 2-3 seconds. There's not really a lot else you can do about it. So for me, PSG found, again, if they have an answer, see if it works out for them, because for the moment, they are very happy with the control they've been able to kind of garner in this first few picks.
Yeah, and I think the idea of having a power point on the map as well to allow JunJia to continue to go for invades onto Sheo, I think it's much better for him this time around, not on the squishier mage jungler, that they will not just destroy you if you get caught out, because Maokai's just tankier in general, but yeah, giving them a lane to play through and find paths into Sheo's side of the map.
And the Sylas is huge value here right now. You've got an Alistar ultimate, you've got the Nature's Grasp as well from the Maokai. Like, these are 2 huge ultimates for a Sylas to kind of go for. It is going in blind, and we'll see now what BDS want to try and respond with. This could be it.
There it is.
Gods! 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 They finally get it going. The Olaf has finished the word.
I am glad that on the final potential game for BDS here, if they do not rally, at least he will have completed the acronym. Olaf slammed in the last minute.
And that's all we needed.
That's all that matters this series. The question of if it's gods or dogs, we will find out, because thus far, it ain't been gods.
It ain't been gods today, but anything can happen with an Olaf. And again, I will say it's nice to get it, but you are giving over another fantastic ultimate for the Sylas to take. So these are the things that go through my mind when you're thinking of these different kind of scenarios. But the last pick to kind of come in here from PSG is going to be Gnar in that top side. Very solid pick. You want to try and make sure you're not going into a melee versus the Olaf, because you will just be dominated. So having that Gnar to be able to have that range keeps you safe.
Yeah, we saw it just yesterday with how Gnar can outplay the Olaf. If you're able to cut him out, if you dodge an axe, his ult can time out. And this time around, he is the one with the Jarvan. So this is an old school combination. The J4 and the Gnar, you can go for these kinds of imprisonments and then slamming everyone against the walls that you find on backline members if you're able to land onto nuke. Again, a pretty all-in composition. Caitlyn is kind of isolated in team fights. I mean, you can kite back initially as Gnar builds, but at some point, they're going to need to dive in and find the members of BDS.
I will say for PSG, like you said, very all-in. You're looking at the Sylas, the Rell, the Gnar, and of course the Jarvan, like you mentioned, just all piling in on top of each other. However, on BDS's side, you've got a fair bit of kind of kite back. The Maokai is very good at disengaging with the Bramble Smash. The Alistar is kind of king of that, outside of Janna, of course. And the Olaf should be able to kind of mitigate all CC bar the Cataclysm. So there's actually answers here for the side of BDS if they can find the right fights.
Yeah, I think the Olaf is the question for me, is how much can you get done in the early game? Because we saw yesterday, once it falls behind, becomes pretty useless, as you can just focus it down and it doesn't have the threat in the side lane to keep making plays happen. So we'll have to see a better performance out of Adam here, and hopefully out of Sheo as well, being able to make plays on the map, being allowed to play the game this time, as that was not really the case in Game 2.
No, it was not. Sheo on a much more comfortable champion. PSG 2-0 up. They are 1 Nexus away from qualifying for the Swiss stage. BDS, the LEC 4th seed, need a miracle. They need the divine intervention, if you will. And they are going to have to start that long, long grind to try and find glory at the top of the mountain.
Interesting, Woody going over the wall with the W early on. Going to try and find an early play onto Adam. Usually BDS are the level 1 cheesers, but this time it's PSG.
Yeah, huge respect by Adam there. Look, it's not even a minute into the game. He will most likely have that flashback before anything relevant happens to him in his lane, but I like the fact that he gave him the respect.
Yeah, that is one of those times where you do not want to start giving over a first blood on the pivotal final game there. And like you said, Flash will be up.
It will be up.
5:50 into the game. And you know what, honestly, It's nice to have double summons to force early flashes out of the mini Gnar like we saw yesterday. If you can just ghost at him, land an axe, it doesn't really matter. That's what you're hoping to do, and have your ult back up with your flash at 6.
That's all you want. And then once you hit 6, that's when the game starts to feel a little bit more favored on that side. But again, it's going to be not just about the top laners, those junglers, Sheo and JunJia, in our featured matchup presented by Mercedes-Benz. It's been all JunJia. It has really been all JunJia. Sheo was not even really a participant in the last game. Let's see if he can bounce it back again on a comfort champion, on something we know he can perform on.
Yeah, absolutely going to have a lot of pressure as well. Wondering where he'll need to go, because you're kind of in a split map situation here where obviously Adam wants some resources, would love a gank or two if they're able to lock down the Gnar and kill him, but at the same time, if this PSG bot lane is able to get this perma shove in, will you have to hover down there and actually help them fix waves and get resets off and the sorts of things that junglers absolutely loathe doing?
It's a very kind of, like, jungling is like almost like chess sometimes. You have to keep an eye on absolutely everybody else. It's like chess but 5 different players.
Chess but babysitting.
Yeah, chess but you're babysitting the 5-year-olds learning to play chess. Like,
yeah.
no, take the horse out of your mouth. Like, you just can't do that. But again, this is going to come down to how they're able to kind of make these moves work. And I like what Sheo's looking for right now, trying to see if he can maybe go for an early move in this bot side. Level 3 into level 2. They look for a flash pulverize, perhaps mid lane. Nuke will have a dash, you would imagine, in a second or so. Chain lash is going to land. Ooh, misses the CC, and that means that Nuke should be able to just walk away.
Yeah, that was a really nice angle there by Maple, getting in range for the W actually to get what is usually a pretty free E2, but just Nuke didn't instantly run up the ramp and was having a nice little kite out there. So able to hold on to his summoners there. That's absolutely huge, as well as the fact that PSG's bot lane did not end up getting engaged on there, surviving some of those early pressures from both those lanes.
The big thing here as well is that because JunJia showed himself towards that mid lane, pathing their bot, obviously showing he had the red, that frees up Adam to get a bit more aggressive. He knows there's no jungler here. Even without a flash, he is still a very big threat onto a very small Gnar.
Yeah, mini Gnar level 3 gank is usually not very good for your own team to go for. So, of course, you have JunJia pathing down to the bot side here. And right now, Wako and Woody doing a good job of just being that annoying perma-shove push that you get for Caitlyn.
Wait to see Crownie, 1 CS up. Congrats to him.
Hey,
just saying, man.
Dominating.
We got to find as many silver linings as we can until plays actually start happening. But right now, PSG, they just feel comfortable. Like, again, you have the Jarvan, he's looking for early ganks, and they have kind of angles in every lane to make them happen.
Yeah, and this is a pretty quintessential BDS draft as well. We talked about last game being a little bit surprising with the level of aggression that they're going for here. It's a lot of scaling options with Adam as a splash of kind of early game playmaking, powerhouse, split push, surprise champion picks. And so hopefully for BDS, this can be closer to game 1, but actually close out when they have their advantages around the neutral objectives, able to win some of these team fights. I gotta say, there's a lot of pressure as well on Maple. He had a great Akali game, this time going on to one of the other popular melee assassin style champions in Sylas. But there are a lot of good ultimates to steal. It is true, but there's a lot of times where Sylas just doesn't look like he's doing anything.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the case the last time we saw it, which was against BDS, where they stole the Maokai ult. Who cares? You know, there's sometimes where if you don't have the setup all locked in, it doesn't actually do that much.
It's all about the setup. It's all about when and the where, not so much the how, but great to see now. Again, slow start to this game. I imagine both teams going to be happy to scale up until level 6. Sheo going to have a little bit of a reset there as well. And so I love what you see from PSG as well. You can see the early little bit of vision on the Krugs there to kind of make sure they weren't going to go for a dive in that top side. But Sheo, he's getting a bit creative with the pathing right now. He's going up towards that top side. Adam will have flash soon and level 6. So yeah, not far away from this. Maybe not on this wave, though. Maybe one more and he should be there.
Oh, both junglers going to be up here at the top side. No ult yet for Adam. This stun will actually lock him in.
He's going to go for a little bit of movement there. Azhi getting caught out a little bit there. You can see Adam just trying to go for something. Flash forward. He got the shield down, but the first blood still goes over to the side of Azhi. Sheo needs to flash forward. That means he's already condemned himself to death. He knows he has everyone else on the side of PSG coming up, so he'll donate that one over to JunJia.
The 2-for-1 for PSG in the top side. I thought it was maybe going to go wrong after the flash W missed from Azhi, but they had enough damage still to finish Adam off. That's one of the scariest things when you don't have just enough damage to finish off the Olaf, who starts getting all those bonuses at low HP. They finish that kill off. They grab about 1,000 gold advantage, both for the first blood and the extra kill going into their back pocket, which also buys time for the Caitlyn lane to continue shoving, grab their first turret plate.
big play there from PSG. And the funny thing is that if the Olaf gets the kill, the Gnar dies first, then all of a sudden the Triumph comes in. It's a 2-for-0, and honestly, probably might even be a little bit more as well in terms of turrets and stuff like that, or turret plates at least. And now we can see Adam has flash this time around. Has got ultimate as well, the Ragnarok, but like we said, the Ragnarok is not exceptional against Cataclysm. Luckily for him, JunJia does not have access to that yet, but already we're seeing engage his bot side. Woody had to flash just because he was so afraid of Sheo going in and getting the lockdown.
Yeah, it seems like maybe miscounting the timer on the reset from Crownie, because even if you do have the Maokai there to follow up, there's not a level 6 Kai'Sa flying in on top of you to blow you up. It would have been a fine 2-for-2. So a bit of a misplay there by Woody, thinking he was under more threat than he was, and a nice play by Labrov to kind of force that reaction out of him.
Just realized something.
What'd you realize?
We could have, potentially, because it was a 5-game series, had Adam spell out gods in a game, or in a series, because it's 4 letters.
Words.
Yeah, but he can't do it. Now it's probably going to be like rods or something. Just it's not as epic, you know.
What did he play in game 1 again?
He played, what did he play? Scion.
Scion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the S. So it'll be
or just replace Set. Just replace Scion and Set.
But we can't get the G or the D. We can only get one of the two. Oh no, we could get 2.
Yeah, hey, we're good.
Yeah, no, you're right.
We're good.
I take it back. We might still have gods in this game. Or in this series, as we see now an engage on the bot side. They will get the CC down straight away here onto Labrov, but yeah, he's dead. He knows he is. He's not going to burn any summoners there, and just great call here from JunJia to go, right, I know where I need to be. Bot lane was the call.
Yeah, found him over the wall, contesting some vision there, and critically as well, PSG able to channel that one onto Wako, doing what AD carries do best, walking up and stealing kills.
Oh, and stealing ultimates. Maple just subtracts Nuke from the map. Anything you can do, I can do better.
Luke was going for the play there.
Yep.
He was feeling himself a little bit, trying to get some momentum back in this game because it had not been going well so far. Ends up trading his own life under the turret, though. Maple on top of that play. Nice pull through the chains, getting over the Azir wall and pushing him back. We'll take another look at that after this bot lane play first. And here you see, like, just baiting on the vision ward. JunJia, well-timed. Doesn't even need the knock-up, actually. Just having enough damage in the 3v2 situation. Then here, Woody was bloodthirsty. He threw one more auto there. And then here, doing a good job in the lane phase, but then the creeps dying or not being under turret range.
Oh, he just panics, and then it's a perfect sequence of plays there. Maple just absolutely smashed them.
They're laughing at a bit of a misplay there. I'm going back to see how he ended up dropping turret aggro despite having creeps around.
Yeah, they went at the turret.
They just were not quite in range yet, and that's why he got caught out. Unfortunate there by Nuke, not having a wave to escort him for that pressure. Now, BDS on the map, being a little thirsty, trying to get this Rift Hurl down if they can get it.
See what they can get. We just see Labrov taking a ace in the hole to the face, and then protecting Crownie on this bot side. But I mean, Crownie's going for the lethality build right now, so they are going for Assassination Nation, as they need to try and go for this one here. And Adam with his longsword shop. Level 6 has been hit here by Labrov, but I mean, it's so difficult to walk into a Rell and a Caitlyn. You're just going to CC for days.
Yeah, and the great thing about how this game's going for PSG is they have not really needed to babysit the Wako lane. There's been pretty isolated outside that 1 or 2 looks that Sheo's been able to find slightly down there, but not really under any threat. They are chipping this turret down very well on their own. Probably going to grab the second turret plate here in a second.
Luke, not just one thing, gets hit by another. The rest of it all comes down. He should be able to dash himself away. Interesting enough to see that Woody and Maple not willing to commit themselves anymore to that. Probably because the flash was still available for Nuke. They weren't going to get the kill. But again, just great kind of trigger discipline as well. Just forcing him out of lane. He doesn't have TP. That's going to be a wave lost.
Yep, able to get some pressure down there. Also, while grabbing the Rift Herald, they were able to make that play happen. So much control for PSG in this third and potentially final game. 2,000 gold advantage already in their back pocket. And some of the game plan for BDS off the rails.
I was going to say, Labrov does not want to get his ultimate stolen away by the Sylas, so just going to try and walk himself away from that particular play. It means they have to be very isolated on this bot side. You can see that the Alistar having to go the long way around. JunJia doing a very good job of just making sure that everyone has to be very careful, very respectful, if you will, of how everything's kind of going down. As Nuke going to push in a bit of a wave here. As a bit of a trade. Some scones of ducks have been absolutely fantastic for Maple. Nuke just not a chance.
Yeah, already put back down to around 20% health. Going to be very difficult to continue laning. No teleport available. Going to have to go back to base right away again, getting these really awkward item purchases. Not able to finish off his Leandries quite yet. Dragon spawning in 2 minutes. Should have it by then, hopefully, but not feeling great.
No. We're starting to feel like game number 2. It's starting to feel like PSG are very, very comfortable. They know exactly where they need to be. They're controlling the map in such a great way. Even the fact that Woody's getting these wards, like consistently making sure there's no random play to come out from a TP that they can get caught out from.
Yeah, making sure Nuke's TP when it's up is not going to be able to go there. Adam, no TP available for here. Just keeping this pressure available so that Wako can continue just destroying this turret. Now we have Sheo finding an angle maybe.
Maybe looking for Woody, who does have the gravity field. Maybe going for the flash as well. They get the headbutt pulverized, but can they finish off the damage? That's the question. They finally do with a little bit of a smite there from Sheo. They said, look, we tried to give it to you, Crownie, but you just weren't close enough.
Yeah, they were worried about having to wait for the Kai'Sa W to come back up or something like that. They finished that kill off, relieved some pressure around the bot lane, hopefully getting them caught out, looking for that jungle.
Jungler's having a little bit of a move here. You see Wako moving forward. Wako's a little bit isolated now. May actually be getting jumped on and assassinated because you've got the lethality. TP coming in. That's going to be the Gnar with Mega. Looking for a little bit more. Flash by Crownie keeps him there and alive. But he gets dragged all the way back in. But can they finish off the kills? That's the question. Nuke is here. Maple follows him just as quick as well. So BDS not quite done just yet. A couple of quick kills and they're only about 1,000 gold behind.
Yeah, absolutely. Flying right back into this game. Initially getting the pick off on Woody, who was being a little bit too aggressive in that bot lane, and then Wako really crazy pathing trying to whip that. BDS not fully out of the woods yet as they have this Rift Herald to drop down for Azhi to at least equalize some of the gold that now Adam is channeling up in the top side.
Adam should be able to get at least 2 plates from this, maybe a third. He hasn't got a huge amount of attack speed right now and no wave, so it's probably just going to be the 2 while the tower and bot lane does go down to reinstate that 2,000 gold lead. But I mean, BDS, that's the kind of plays they need. Those are the kind of moments they need to capitalize on if they want to try and stay in this series, keep their season alive.
Yeah, and it all starts from their own proactive play. It's one of the things where once you put pressure on the enemy team, you know, sometimes some mistakes start to show up. They kill Woody. JunJia is trying to scrap out Sheo. Then Wako takes a bad path. You find that kill. And then more mechanical mistakes follow after that. And gives BDS some very necessary breathing room. Get some gold onto the Olaf, which was absolutely critical. Going all the way back here to just some vision control. Going a little bit too aggressive about it. Woody should have known that Labrov was right there. Not going to survive that one mistake after seeing him kind of around the mid lane messing with the Sylas like you called out earlier. You knew he was there. And then here's where they really lose it. Wako here, I don't know why you think you can just walk through here like this.
His name is Wako.
Yeah.
He walks.
I don't know if JunJia, what the call was. It was going to go bad no matter what, even if he didn't end up blast coning into the dragon pit there.
Oh, well, Crownie's dead. Labrov is just kind of sitting there awkwardly going,
it didn't
well.
happen on camera, but there was absolutely a stolen Azir ult flash insec under the turret to kill Crownie.
I mean, it's just the way it is. We talked about it, well, I talked about it at length for sure, about the ultimates you can steal here as Sylas, and the playmaking Sylas, or how good Sylas can be, does kind of rely on those ultimates and when and where you use them, but look at the MasterCard lane economy snapshot. I mean, that's not what you need to be seeing if you're the Olaf. You picked this Olaf as the kind of the big pick. Yeah. You're down 1,100 gold.
Struggling into Gnars recently at World, unfortunately. Saving grace, Crownie's Kai'Sa, basically even in gold. You are staying relevant in this game, and there will not be very many resists purchased, most likely. The Jarvan build, oftentimes going for Spear of Sojin second, means that you won't have to be punching through resist for a little while. We'll see what Gnar wants to go. Sometimes you see the Black Cleaver. Maybe they'll go something a little different this time to itemize against the armor, but you know, with how much true damage the Olaf can do as well, sometimes it feels bad. He can shred you as well, so we'll have to see what Azhi wants to go, but most likely more bruiser-oriented. Here's this play again. Azir ult stolen. Gonna eat the minions, or just flash.
Immediately go for it. Just flash in, go for the Crownie, and there is blood on that crown.
And I gotta say, really heads up play by Maple to jump the play because Labrov was wrapping around. You saw Sheo's ultimate coming in at the very end there. They were absolutely setting up a dive there. And Maple just cuts that play off at the head by killing Crownie.
And that's the kind of momentum killer like PSG have been shown to do this entire play-ins. Like, yes, they were a little shaky in their first series, but they kind of slowly came back into that one there. And the fact that BDS were getting a couple of kills, were getting control back on the map, that just stifles that momentum. It kills it completely.
Yeah, huge play out of Maple. I gotta say, love the approach to the Sylas here, going for the electrocute and pen burst damage build with Night Harvester. Some people go for the Conqueror and a lot of Ages or Everfrost. Yeah, no, I'd rather you just absolutely obliterate one target.
Blow someone up.
Yeah, it feels a lot better to play too. I much prefer it. As much as I love being a drain tank in the middle of a team, this is definitely the play, I think. Especially here, where if you can assassinate Crownie very quickly or Nuke, you can win the fight because you have so much DPS coming from the other positions on the map for you.
Well, Nuke does have TP and has pushed in that bot side. Both bot and top have been pushed in here by BDS. They're getting the lanes pushed in, and PSG are a little bit kind of unsure of how they want to do it. They want to get Azhi to get up to that Mega before they really go for something right now. And they're taking a fair chunk of damage. The Rift Herald will reset.
Yeah, Crownie, or excuse me, Nuke did teleport back in after shoving out that bot wave. They could have sacked this one and just used his pressure to trade out a turret for it, but instead wanted to contest here.
Still going. They're looking for this. BDS, no, they have to go for something. Labrov on the backside looking for it. Woody gets caught out. Woody gets assassinated. They kill off one. JunJia looks to the guy to get Cataclysm, but he can't get anybody else. Now, can they jump onto Wako? He does have a flash available. Does only need the 90 counter Berlet, but can he get back over the wall? He's flashed forward, and they will get killed down. Nuke picks himself up that kill. And this is BDS putting down a marker saying we are not done just yet.
BDS staying alive in this series, perfectly playing that out, waiting for the Gnar ult to time out. Adam,
he's fine.
He's fine. We're not worried about it. We're fine. But yeah, great play out of them, contesting that. We weren't sure if they were going to go, if they're going to back off. I like the aggressiveness, letting them finish off that Rift Herald and playing for the fight instead.
Oh, looking for a bit. There's the Adam ultimate now. Trade it back there for the Alistar stolen one. They're all coming back in on top of this one here. Can Azhi get away? He does have a flash should he need it. Woody in kind of no man's land right now. In the lethality build that we talked about, he's going to lose his flash. You'd almost certainly think so. As Crownie comes in, dodges out a little bit, and yep, there is the flash to go away. So BDS not getting caught out, and if anything, kind of turning the tides a little bit in that fight as well.
Yeah, absolutely happy to trade some of those flashes that were burned there. Woody, when the primary engage tool was losing that one, just trying to help follow up in the play. And here we go, waiting for the Mega Gnar to time out. Labrov taking the wraparound Alistar ultimate angle here, and just the Maokai ultimate so powerful, isolating Woody, allowing Crownie to annihilate him with the Halo Blades and build there. And then JunJia just not tanking at all yet, gets assassinated second, and the rest of the team has no way to follow through because the members were threatening from the blue buck ramp coming down.
PSG did get the Rift Herald, so they did secure that objective, but you lost 3 kills for it. Now, mid lane did go down. It's a 600 gold lead. BDS crawling back into this one little by little, bit by bit. They are sitting on a pretty big mid-game spike, especially with this lethality Kai'Sa, and now having the Olaf to be able to do so much work on the backside. The fact that they were able to isolate Woody came off the fact that everyone else on PSG was so concerned about what Adam was doing.
Yeah, the fact that Adam was able to get value in that fight was huge, and they are starting to stem the bleeding of the potential 1-3-1 setup of PSG. We saw what happened yesterday when the Olaf falls behind the Gnar. You start falling into threat of getting solo killed, or at least ran up lanes. And so here, while Azhi is getting this solo turret, at least Adam is slightly more relevant. Maple is not snowballing quite so hard, despite getting 2 kills and looking pretty good. He's down a fair amount of CS.
He is indeed. They're going to try and assassinate him, but the buffer is good from JunJia. A little bit of a flash as well, just to create that separation, but Dragon, no kill, so BDS still feeling okay about that trade, but they got to make sure that someone's dealing with Azhi. He'll get this turret for free. No one's coming.
Yeah, Azhi's getting pretty farmed at this point, grabbing a lot of turrets here. They do stop the Dragon stacking out of PSG, which is pretty critical, and Hex Dragon is a pretty fine reward as a result, but you do want to start dropping some of these turrets. There are still none available, and so while it is a 2k gold lead for PSG, there's a lot of standing gold available for BDS should they win or have another good one of these fights that they can actually convert into multiple turrets afterwards.
Noob doesn't know that Azhi's still here. Goes in with the Mega Gnar. Can he get away from it? Oh, Woody!
Woody!
Oh, been a bit more like Buzz there to infinity and beyond.
Oh, you insulted my boy Buzz?
Yeah.
Looking more like Mr. Potato Head after that. I don't know what that play was.
Well, Labrov is taking a fair chunk of damage. He might just die here, to be perfectly honest, if he's not too careful. The boomerang does not land. And that keeps him safe for the moment, but PSG not quite ready to let BDS have their victory lap just yet. They are still showing them that they are ahead, and they are still looking to make plays.
Azhi is kind of keeping PSG in this game here. First up, getting the setup onto Nuke to threaten to kill him, and then getting Labrov's ultimate out there in the chase down sequence. Woody, to be fair, the wall clipped him, made him short the W alt combination, then misses the Q, allowing Nuke to get out. But that's one of those plays where you might look back at it later and go, oh, if we just get that one, do we maybe start pressuring Baron on the tail end of that? Because it had just spawned. What more could you have gotten if you found that kill? Or at the very least, continue to accelerate Azhi.
And the thing is, I love that you bring up this acceleration of Azhi, because I don't know now, but I'm pretty sure he is the 2,000 gold lead onto... of course we have the
Spectator client.
Spectator client.
You are correct, sir.
He is the 2,000 gold lead. So if Azhi's not there, or if Azhi gets taken out of the fight, then this is a much, much more even game, as that turret just about stays alive, but a sneeze will take it down.
At some point, BDS will cash in on these turrets. They are both so low, and actually across all three lanes are ripe for the taking if they can just get a little bit of pressure or a map movement down to grab them. Azhi, like you said, though, going for the hull breaker build, kind of committing a little bit more to this split push style. He's playing extremely well, so I understand kind of indexing into your own play here. We were wondering what he would go next, if he would pick up some sort of resist. No, he is here to split push and win the game. Adam says he's had enough.
32 health. It's an insult if we leave that one up and available, so they get that little bit of gold. It's nice to get it into everyone there available, but for now, you can see that PSG very aware that this Dragon, or this Baron I should say, is a big threat that BDS could go for. You have got an Azir, an Olaf, and a Kai'Sa. You will burn through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Even Maokai going for the Demonic Embrace. Red Smite will burn quite a bit. And so, while the gold lead is still in PSG's favor, it is being kept closer than that game 2, which you can see was a very, very quick acceleration in that 20-minute mode. And this time around, PSG don't have the clearest way to advance the game plan. Of course you can split Azhi, of course he can try and make plays happen. That feels like the only power point, because the Caitlyn no longer is able to just free shove waves over and over again. They've done a really good job on the side of BDS of jumping on top of JunJia when he steps too far forward. Or Woody, they have kind of stifled the primary engagers. And without that, there's no easy way for Maple in.
Like the JunJia is just kind of saying, look, you're stacking these little cats in this brush right now. There were like 3 or something like that, so he's just baiting them out, getting the flag and dragging them. Yeah, honestly, with the damage he's able to get onto them, it might be a one-shot territory, but turret does go down in mid lanes. That's 2 of the 3. And that brings us to, again, just under a 2,000 gold lead. It might be enough there for Nuke, who's agonizingly close towards a Rabadon's death cap. He is, unfortunately, a fair bit away from having the extra 1,200 he needs to finish it off, but for now, everything seems to be just kind of calming down. The calm before the storm, as PSG recognize they're not as far ahead as they were in the last 2 games. They need to make sure they don't fumble this game.
Yeah, it's a question of how they want to advance it here, because you have 45 seconds on the Dragon spawning, but you don't really want to put Azhi up on the top side because it's unlikely he can take an inhibitor turret by himself. But then if you're on the bot side where there is an inner turret still up, you are already close to the Dragon. So it does kind of naturally lead to a situation where you probably are going to contest this, but BDS has done very, very well around the neutral objectives this time, and we'll see if they can yet again Labrov and Sheo combo together to isolate frontline members of PSG for Crownie and Nuke to just blow up.
The thing is, Azhi has got the hull breaker. Great for pushing the lanes, but he has, as you mentioned, been very tentative to being pushing too far over. Doesn't want to overcommit to it, and again, when you go with that hull breaker build, it does mean that you're not as keen to be in those team fights as early as you possibly can. So we'll see. Dragon spawning now in 3 seconds. BDS look to try and stack that objective themselves. Getting attack speed and ability haste onto something like an Azir could be huge going later into the game.
Absolutely. Multiple big item breakpoints coming through. Wako finishing his IE before this, going for the crit focus build, not grabbing the Gale Force. Going to see if they can stop this Dragon, excuse me.
Yeah, they're going to go for it. It's a stolen Maokai ultimate for Maple as he throws it across. We're going to see them try and go for a fight. It's a bit of a cross of the lanes. There we go. BDS secure themselves the Dragon, but they are stunned up a little bit. Crownie gets jumped on and immediately predicted on the backside. Azhi can't finish him off. Neither can the Sylas. They're going to try and maybe mirror this back right back on top of Caitlyn, and she goes down. They're trading this one back. It's a 2 for 2, I should say. For the moment, they will use those Hex Gates to get Azhi right back in. The switcheroo! Oh, he's on the floor. What can you do, BDS? Labrov, why are you there? Run away. Stay away from there. Get out of there. You can't be here. You're 6 levels down. God damn it.
Labrov, you got out. Why would you walk back in? He's fine. He did it. Wow, what a crazy fight. That was so close to being a massive wipe by PSG. Azhi absolutely having a monstrous ultimate there. He's not done. He's got red buff. He wants to scrap.
He wants to scrap indeed. He's getting Mega now as well. He might be able to get himself the kill and get himself out for free. Kai'Sa's around, but I don't think that Crownie wants any of this smoke, and that's just Azhi bringing this play right back a little bit in favor of PSG.
Azhi has put on the hero pants. He was already wearing them for most of this series, having an incredible Game 1 and Game 2, and continuing it into Game 3 here. This time, Sheo, we talked about him not having the best smites this series, been getting out-smoted a little bit. This time he grabs it, but JunJia and Azhi perfectly timed wombo combo, catches the flash out of Crownie, but has the ult to survive. And then from there, Maple is not able to land the E, and he's just on chase down sequence the rest of this fight, whereas Nuke was in the pit, able to hit multiple important members.
Yeah, Maple didn't really do a lot of damage at all, but we're going straight back into the action right there. We're going to steal away the Alistar ultimate as we look to try and make this fight work. They're a little bit isolated, though, because that Maokai ultimate's doing it work in its own right. Nuke picked up the first kill. They get Maple back over the wall as he gets himself an ultimate stolen away from the Alistar. Now they're turning and burning onto Sheo, who's very tanky, but is he tanky enough to survive against all this damage? The shutdown, but Azir falls at the end of it all. It's a 2 for 3! It's a 3 for PSG. And that is going to get them right back into this. Well, this game is getting scrappy.
It's getting crazy. Angelina Jolie bends the bullet around the target there to finish him off. Wanted Sheo and finished him, but so crazy how much damage there is in this game relative to the tankiness. The fact that Sheo with Red Smite, Demonic First, has a nice health pool, but not the tankiest. Labrov and Maple actually with their ultimates are going to be some of the tankier members here. Woody just gets annihilated. The Pen Kaisa build, I don't know why anyone builds anything else. Yeah, honestly, unless it's multiple tanks with tons of resist, just do this build, because you can see what happens when you step slightly too far forward. Maple's annihilated, absolutely deleted there, and then here it is, the little bit of cleanup that comes in at the very end. Sheo dying with JunJia up. I wonder under the replay if they're going to be rushing back to this Baron here, or if they will taking it slow. But still a fight win out of PSG here in a very tense third game.
Yeah, I mean, Crownie tried his hardest to jump in front of that bullet right there. He really did. But there's the win probability powered by AWS. It's still in favor of PSG, but BDS are not letting this one go lightly. Labrov will have his ultimate back up and available. No flash available for a little bit of an engage. No flash is pretty much for anybody on the side of PSG in terms of the engagers, so they're going to be very aware that they can't just walk forward and just tank up things like they did the last few fights.
Yeah, another double Shojin build this time. Azhi grabbing it as well. I can't help but wonder if you're going to be grouping this much, you know, gotta go for some resist instead, because Crownie is going to melt anyone who steps too far forward. Same with Nuke, honestly, now with the death cap finished off. And you can see them having some priority on this dragon. Going to hit it and start it out.
Starting it, clearing out the vision for the moment. They will have that blast cone to potentially use over the wall as Adam tries to play keep away. Crownie and Sheo doing the work right now. Ooh, Azhi takes a huge chunk of damage. JunJia walking away from this one here, but I don't think he's going to get out with his life. No, he is not. Labrov perfectly placed to try and keep everybody off. The Baron still on 4,000 HP as Azhi has to back away. He's not going into Mega just yet. Crownie gets caught. Crownie's still alive. They shove back the Wako as he finally gets caught down. They're looking for Crownie. How has he survived? Just about taken away. Sheo can't finish off this Baron. He needs Adam. He needs his top laner. They need to go back on to do this damage. Azhi has been the carry of this team for PSG in game number 3. He's looking for a little bit more damage. The smite can't come out just yet. Finally does go in. He's kiting it. He's kiting it. He's looking for more. Adam, you need to run away. You need to use that damage. Oh, nearly a touchdown. No, he's not quite close enough. Oh my God. But at the end of it all, Baron for BDS, but PSG, they made him work.
We're getting a good game here finally in game 3. BDS staying alive.
I thought for a second there Azhi would find the 2 cleanup kills and deny all the Baron buffs, but he just can't quite do it. JunJia getting exploded here. Labrov providing a better front line, requiring more resources here. And once the jungler is down, there's a huge pressure on PSG to stop BDS from being able to smite this Baron.
Look at Crownie. He gets CC'd by the Baron, and how does he live?
Someone took the Baron aggro, so he did not go onto him. Maple with the hero play. All right, we don't got time.
We don't got time. We don't got time for your analysis. We don't got time to break down the plays because BDS have the momentum. The crowd behind them, they want more games. The Red Bull Baron power play at their back. And they're looking to go onto Soul Point as well. The poke coming out here from Crownie is monstrous. But Azhi is huge as well. You can see Maple off to the side here, looking for a bit of a flank. Has got Labrov's ultimate. The Unbreakable Will. Can he make something work?
Getting a little low.
JunJia goes in a little early. The Cataclysm now down. The smite comes in. Sheo gets it again. That's the third one on swing and a miss by Maple. They can start to isolate him out and get that true damage in. Labrov just keeping everybody else away. Flashes forward. Jumps in onto Wako. And that's the play you need. Azhi Azhi will try and turn it around like he did at Baron, but not today! Massive shutdowns, 5 kills, that could be game!
That's gonna be it. They have the Baron buff, a wave in the mid lane, and a 4-for-0 kill right now. It's only Maple left alive. Does he have any heroics left to try and save this game?
He's gonna have to pull out all the stops. Not quite level 16, so not quite sure he can take that Alistar ult just yet again. The Nexus is in their sights. BDS keeping themselves alive at Worlds, looking to make a big statement game. They won't end the game just yet. They know how tentative it is, that if they mess up, it's over.
Definitely the right call. 5 seconds left on JunJia. Maple was alive. If he could steal the Maokai ultimate, you might end up in a situation getting cleaned up in their base. But again, absolutely monstrous smites from Sheo this game. He has been incredible all tournament long. JunJia had been getting the better of him, but not this time around. Grabs the 3rd dragon for their team. And then here, just split fight. There's not any threat onto Crownie and Nuke. Maple tried to find it, but whipped the chains this time around after some heroics in the previous fight. And it's too easy if Maple is not there providing threat in the backline. Azhi also did not have ultimate until a little bit later on in that sequence.
The great thing here for BDS is not only did you get the kills in the Dragon, which is obviously fantastic, but you burned so many smites, or so many, flashes from that last fight. You got so many resources. Look at across the board, nobody has anything. You've got a couple of teleports, but it's not really going to mean much when you're dealing with such a powered up BDS.
Yeah, and absolutely. I think this is one of the few times as well BDS's comp truly outscales with the Kai'Sa and Azir here. Obviously, late game Sylas is no joke, but the rest of the team does drop off, especially when you have itemization focused on split push, and now you are losing the game here.
I mean, they're trying to get Azhi some kind of time up topside. You've got the snap traps going down. You've got the stolen Maokai ult thrown out to try and delay it. He is getting a fair bit of time now, so he may be able to break open this base here. Azhi has got a fierce amount of damage with that Spear of Shojin.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the rest of PSG cannot chase forward enough to interrupt the recalls. You can see JunJia dropping the flag, trying to spot them, and maybe you can interrupt some recalls to buy more time, but not the case here. Baron buff timed out now.
All right, Mark. We got a game.
We got a game.
We got a game, maybe a series. I'm not going to say it just yet.
No.
But we got to wait till the Nexus explodes, as is a play-by-play's right. But what do you want to see? How do BDS finish this one off? Where do you want to see them look for it?
I think as much as it's fun to try and group up and make a dive happen, I think grouping just to control Azhi a little bit, keep pressure on the map, react to him whenever he splits because he's not going to be showing up for any of these defenses. Just try and corral PSG as best you can until the next neutral objective spawn, because you have a potential Baron for Hex Tech Soul trade where you have 3 already done. So you can take whichever side of that trade PSG does not want. You can also contest them if you want to go for it. There's so much going in BDS's favor right now beyond the gold lead and map pressure from having the mid inhibitor cracked. So they have a very, very strong position to play to these neutral objectives from here on out. Don't get over greedy. Don't dive a base. You're doing great.
Take a deep breath. LEC fans, EU fans, let's all calm ourselves and center ourselves. This game is not over. This series is not done. PSG have plenty available to them if they want to try and win this game, and it's going to come down to what could be a mistake, a moment of brilliance.
Oh, the TP flank.
TP flank here from Azhi to try and make something work here. They're going to try and burn down Nuke as best they possibly can. He puts down his ultimate. He is going to be able to zoom away, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get out of this one alive. He will not. Luckily for the side of BDS, it's just a kill. It doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme. No objective for a minute.
50 seconds on the death timer, 40 for Baron. There'll be a 10-second desync, but once he's up, he does have teleport available. I like BDS's response here. Escort the minion waves in, make them react so they can't get too much vision set up for the Baron, but
to catch someone. They're looking to catch someone. They're looking to catch someone thinking there may be not enough vision, because look at the vision they have on the top left, but they don't really have a lot on the Baron pit or even in their own jungle. BDS decide it's not worth going for the big risk just yet. And they're going to back themselves away because PSG are saying we're looking towards the bot side. The Hex Soul is far more important than the Baron right now.
Yes, on their minds, that's where they're going, but that does take longer to respawn and will give Nuke plenty of time to teleport back in to contest that in a 5v5.
Got the kittens moving forward. Doing a first amount of damage. And this thing, it doesn't look like it does a lot initially, but when you start to take them down with the bit of AP here, Crownie.
Oh no.
Labrov has to pop his ultimate. He's getting CC'd in. He does pop himself over. Labrov gets caught. They're going to try and get onto JunJia. They know if they kill the jungler, There's no way you can smite fight this now with Nuke back into play. We're going to see them go straight in. They're using all the ultimates there, trying to make this one work. Trying to jump down on top of Maple, who has to sacrifice himself for the betterment of his team, but he will fall. 4v4, both objectives on the map.
Massive mistake by Maple there. You can just sit on top of Adam in front to back that team fight, but he takes the chains in, pops the ultimate a little bit late, and by the time he's stasis with an Alistar, you're already 20% health. PSG, after finding that great initial pick,
they can't do this. Yeah, they thought they were calling the buff even, or the bluff, I should say, but BDS called it on them. Nuke gets jumped on by the JunJia, the Cataclysm down. Can he kill out the jungler? Can he get out alive? He can get one of those things, which is keeping his life for now. JunJia gets hit on the backside of this play. Crownie is not here. Woody misses another flash over the wall. Hexol BDS.
PSG mechanically making mistakes left and right this game. BDS making the right macro calls, splitting Crownie there. The advantage we were talking about with the neutral objectives. PSG trying to win a fight as the only way back into this game, but just came up too short. Taking another look at this. Initially, great slow down chase sequence onto Labrov, and with the Caitlyn traps, there's just no way out for him. So he decides to go in here, try and make something happen because Nuke was showing up on the backside of the fight, but JunJia is able to get out. And here, Adam decides to go. And I initially like the decision to just kite back. Just hit the Olaf. Just hit the Olaf.
No, hit the live button.
Hit the live button.
Hit the live button because we're going back into live. We're going to see them. They'll go for it. They've turned and burned. They're going to be able to run into Azhi. If they can kill him off, it's massive. They assassinate him, and it'll all be huge for BDS. The series isn't over. This game is everything to them, and their world's hands just stand so close to being over, but they're hanging on.
Hanging on, grabbing the soul at the end of that previous sequence, and here grabbing the Baron, giving no neutral objectives to the side of PSG. Labrov running defense here, making sure they can't reset and cut the wave potentially, helping shove them out there, and you can see the pings going down now for the base of PSG.
This year, BDS has only dropped one game when they've had Soul, which is kind of incredible in its own right. Normally Soul's an end game kind of thing, but they've got the Baron, they've got the Hexol, they have the scaling. They just need to blow up the Nexus.
It's still a hard battle, and we do not want to see them get ahead of themselves. Just yesterday, they had a game where they almost lost despite having Soul. There was an incredible engage onto Crownie that happened in that game. They still won that one, and so I have plenty of confidence that they will be able to do it here. 2 minutes left on the Baron power play, already 2,500 gold. And here you're going to see it again, just cute idea, but way too far ahead of the play for Azhi. Needed to stack up his rage a little bit more before going for a flank like that, and just excellent decision by BDS to annihilate him once he ports in.
And they get the Baron off of it. 7,000 gold. Gold means very little at this point. You can see there, as I cough and didn't want to blow up everyone's eardrums. Everyone's pretty, yeah. You know what? I'm a man of the people, trying to help out our headphone users a little bit. But everyone's kind of picking up full items. Crownie's done. He's got his Zhonya's alongside the Zhonya's that was picked up by Nuke. His Olaf has been decent, 6, 2, and 5. Building up such a huge advantage, despite how far behind he was in the laning phase.
Yeah, this is something where the BDS carries are fairly far ahead of the ones on the side of PSG. No death cap completed for Maple yet, still trying to work that one down. Only 5 items for Wako compared to the 6 of Crownie. Means that you do want to try and end this game before the gold kind of becomes meaningless.
Yeah, you want to make sure you're not... Wako. Have to go back to the base there. Does have the line of snap traps to be able to try and stop anyone from moving forward, but all they need is one window to open. Inhibitor in the bot lane has fallen. Can they get themselves 2 inhibitors? That is the question. Stolen Maokai ultimate from Maple. Gets thrown out. Now, everyone just kind of backs themselves away. Good blocking by Labrov, who tries to look for an engage onto JunJia. Takes a huge amount of damage. He's going to have to walk away, and that is the second inhibitor down. They're being made work for it. They're being made pushed so hard for BDS. This is step 1 of 3, and they are already at 40 minutes.
They are strapping themselves in for a long haul for the Swiss stage, but they are going for it.
He's looking at, he's very isolated. It's almost like deja vu. He gets knocked back, has flash, gets himself over the wall. Gonna look for a little bit more damage onto him. He's dead. Q assassinated. Crownie now with very little mana. Needs to be very careful as Maple jumps in on top of him, but he had the stopwatch. We made note of it earlier, but Crownie is dead. Now it's on to Nuke to be the carry. They need to kill Maple as soon as possible. Azhi goes forward, but he goes down. Now you can look to a little bit more, but look at the damage from Wako. This is a Caitlyn on a mission, looking to be the hero of PSG. They want a clean record, a clean 3-0. Adam trying to be the god he was touted to be. But right now, gods can bleed, and he's taking a hell of a beating.
Oh, teleport coming back in for Nuke. He's going to try and end this one.
He's going to look to try and kill off the Caitlyn. 1, 2, one more. He doesn't even need it. Nuke TPing in with the kill, and BDS, they roar back into life. They will not go quietly into the night, and they will get a game in this best of 5.
We are headed to game 4. BDS rally in this game, finally taking away the Kai'Sa. And it was a hard-fought game. It looked like PSG was in control with a good early game yet again, but they rallied back. BDS making it hard for themselves, but still coming out on top.
Taking a breath.
Yeah, that is
taking a breath.
You don't get a head rush, don't pass out, don't faint on me.
Never do that when you stand up too quickly. I was like, oh,
you do a lot of
I'm going to go down. But I mean, BDS still alive. For PSG, they had a lot of the makings of this game. It felt like they were kind of just running through the motions and kind of saying, yeah, we did this in the last one, we could do it again. And then it just started to fall apart a little bit. They almost got a little bit too complacent.
Yeah, definitely. It felt like they start opting to builds, maybe not the optimal way with the hull breaker, but that's the hair there. I gotta say, for BDS, how sweet would it be to have, if you're a BDS fan, the reverse sweep to miss MSI that happened at the hands of Mad Lions and Spring Split, to then, if you're able to do it, reverse sweep PSG to make it into the main stage of Worlds.
Getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. Just a little bit. The excitement, the adrenaline. Getting very much excited. But we're going to send it over to a very excited Goldberg, I imagine, over on the desk.
Talk about getting ahead of yourself. Goldberg, you were the one that called it coming in. It's just game 3 that they won here. But the T-shirt, it hasn't lied so far.
I mean, I'm just saying, Raz, how do you say that a little bit here? If they manage to pull this off, how about you wear this for cooldown later tonight? How about that?
I'm willing to. For context, that shirt is stanky.
It is really stinky. I went working out in this. I haven't had the chance to wash it yet.
Why did I say yes?
But you did just say yes, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, so you're clearly going to be rooting for PSG, but, I mean, what a turnaround. I think every single game has felt wildly different from the slow game 1 to PSG dominating the early game, and now just full-on team fights. What was the biggest shift here for BDS?
I mean, let's talk about Kai'Sa finally coming through from Crownie. I think that while you're watching the team fight, at times he did still get caught on it. The short range was a bit difficult for him to pilot. But the champion is still that good that even if it's not your comfort champion, you'll still look good on the champion. I also think the fact that we weren't looking at it necessarily, oh, here's a Renekton first pick, that was super good. Having Nuke on one of the 2 comforts, Ori or Azir, we see the Azir coming through as well, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the one pick that I was curious about because of its risk was Caitlyn. Caitlyn, first time seeing it come through. Obviously, it was chipping at turrets, range advantage in lane, but past that, your team fighting is going to be really difficult going up against a really beefy front line. Not only do you have to wait for the Maokai ult, you have to wait for Alistar to not be a nuisance, and then there's the range disadvantage you have to deal with, the threat of Kai'Sa, the threat of Alistar just walking at you. Wako's walking in and dying in a lot of fights, unable to do anything.
Yep, and just getting like pushed back by an Olaf or an Alistar. And you talk about the laning phase where you're supposed to be able to bully. It was a 41 gold advantage. 40, not 41,000, not 4.1k, 41 gold. So it definitely didn't get the lead that I think it needed to.
I mean, going into the early game at 14 minutes, we only had a lead on Labrov, but, apparently that's enough against PSG.
The support div we were all talking about. I will say, Labrov in the team fights was really, really good. There was like the one where he got picked off, but even when he was getting picked, he was turning it around and looking for angles. Like you were saying, make it so hard for Wako to team.
Because even when I'm talking about the draft, overall, I thought PSG should be able to win with this game. With the lead that they had early on, with how fed Sylas was, and I thought this was an amazing Sylas angle, actually. So Maple being able to pick out Sylas here and the way that he played it out, great. So, like, for instance, the Kai'Sa walking in, autoing the top lane turret, and he's like, I have Azir ulti.
Yeah, a little bit of disrespect definitely came through.
Yes, and then after a while, you are right. Labrov, I think, was the turning point because he was able to, in the Rift Herald fight, really slam.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to that Rift Herald where takes the portal. A little bit of a beneficial from the Rift there. Thank you, Riot. Thank you, Hextech. But also coming through with a great flash over to secure a kill. And this is really where it starts. PSG, that gets scattered. Nuke gets to come over the wall. And this is almost pixel perfect out of range where he gets to walk out of the chain again there from Mabel. And he was super scary on the Sylas at this point in time. But it was not the macro. It was every single team fight where I come down to BDS just taking it.
Yes, and I think that was a great play. I do think it started with a few misplays prior to that. The one time where Caitlyn walked through enemy tri-bush to join on a pick and then got collapsed on clearly. So it was like, okay, you're making mistakes now. Hopefully you start to get it together before Herald, but by the Herald fight, Alistar's online. As you mentioned, great flank that you were able to find there, and then Crownie was able to come in and finish the kills.
What's really interesting is that these objectives would come through, and then BDS would go back to, all right, let's take care of them out, let's make sure we don't get done. And then we're waiting for the next objective, and that brings us to the next Drake, where they slowly but surely started getting their own Drake stacking going as well. You can see it in this instance, and huge credit to Sheo in this game, because pretty much every single Drake fight came down to a Smite versus Smite against JunJia, and Sheo had it pretty much every time. This is one of the team fights where Crownie had the cleanse earlier, could have cleansed the Sejuani, Maokai ult from Sylas, but they still managed to trade even for it and get out with some Hextech technology.
Yeah, and through all of that, I think Wako, I saw him get one auto attack down. There was an Alistar in his face the entire time, and the second he gets in range, it's instantly in a zero ult over the wall.
Mission impossible. We're able to get out just at the very tail end. So yeah, I saw the tale of 280 carries in that team fight. Not only was Crownie able to get out with the skin of his teeth, and then you get to see...
By the skin of his teeth. There we go.
Thank you.
Not in the skin of his teeth.
That's also very disgusting.
Very different.
That'd be very disgusting, but I like the mental imagery. But then on the other side, Wako was just struggling to get an auto off. And yeah, I had Alistar in front of him. And then so he just decided to walk past the Alistar at that point. Azir saw him, was able to catch him. So you're like, yeah, you're struggling at that point to be relevant. You were so close. I think the flash chain by Sylas, if he was able to hit, would have been a huge turning point for the fight, but he was just that close. Crownie played the fight well.
Yeah, I think he really did. I also think almost quietly, Adam was super influential in the fights. I mean, Olaf into effectively 4 melee champions and a Caitlyn to DPS him down. That's just not going to work. And we actually get a look at him with those gods champions in the Big Baron team fight.
I don't care if they thought it was because it was his last game at Worlds and he needed to get the O and the Olaf as well, but I want to see more of this, okay? I don't care if you have to blind pick it. It makes a difference. It clearly does. And also you can see that, of course, we have this here. We got the Kai'Sa too. It makes sense. But in a team fight, no one's going to make as much as an impact on the enemy team when they don't know what they're playing up against as Crownie does on these champions. We see it with the Olaf. We saw it with the Garen against Golden Guardians. He just makes an impact.
100%. We can take a look at an insane fight around the Baron as well that ended up being really the straw that broke the camel's back.
Oh, absolutely. And it's kind of the same instant as before where Labrov is around that wall. I think he had an insane series here. Well, sieging as well 4 members while the rest of them takes care of JunJia. This one became a bit closer as well with how low everyone became. And Crownie there got knocked up by Baron, which makes it even more close. But luckily, Nuke is there to scoop in Wako, and it means they kind of trade the 80 carries 1-for-1 after Mabel takes down Crownie.
I take a step back and just see how crazy this game actually was.
I mean, it was all of these small things, wasn't it?
Yes, because like I thought BDS played this fight well to disengage when they already had gotten the kill off the jungler. It was like, okay, now we're in a man advantage. But then Baron tactical plays a part in it.
We get the cats here as well. I wonder if we have the cats coming through as well.
Yeah, just trying to chase down Azhi. Yeah, so close to getting the call in the back end. No, seriously, you talk about the Hextech Rift being the 6th man for BDS. Baron was the 6th man for the PSG in that team fight. Just absolutely ridiculous stuff. Now, it does look like PSG Talon have selected blue side in Game 4. And importantly, they're going to get side selection in Game 5 as well if we end up there.
True.
I think everyone has to be looking at Kai'Sa as the pick here. Neither AD carry has found a good answer into it, I feel, so far.
No, I completely agree. And it's going to be difficult as well now going over to the red side because you still don't want Archie to play the Kennen. You still don't want him to play the Rumble. That only leaves you with one ban option. So if they don't ban Sire on blue side and you see yourself forced to ban the Kai'Sa, well, then they still get a Sire for free and you don't have the best response into that yourself.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference maker within the draft is when they ended up going blue side and moved away from the Renekton and decided to start picking good support jungle matchups, specifically Maokai, Alistar. Great structure front to back, makes it so much easier for the Azir and Kai'Sa to get the work done. Only concern, as you would expect, like we started at the beginning of this segment, was the early game. As long as they don't fall too far behind, Maple got too much done early, because PSG can look back at that and say, let's run that comp back, play a little bit better. I think that's the only thing BDS has to be concerned about, and then they'll just have a much better late game.
I want Azir in the first 3 for BDS so they can lock that in, and I want counter pick for Adam. For now, Team BDS are still alive at Worlds 2023, but to make it to the Swiss stage, they need to do something they've never done before, a reverse sweep. Let's see if they can make history tonight as the series continues with game number 4.
Gotta start fighting and have some skill.
So when you have BDS win, okay? We don't need to win 3 games, we need to win 1. No, we still need to win 3. You know what I mean, Crownie. We need to win 1 and so we lose the other 2.
Oh, and stealing ultimate Maple just subtracts Nuke from the map.
Kill Rell, kill Rell. Yeah, nice.
Right.
Nice.
Go, let's go.
Labrov just keeping everybody else away. Flashes forward, jumps in onto Wako, and that's the play you need.